Okay, this video today is going to be a little bit all over the place. First, I'm going to tell you go do something, and then I'm going to kind of chastise you for going and doing it. And the thing I want to tell you go do is go sign the petition to repeal the NFA and the Use Amendment also if you'd like to, but specifically the NFA, the National Firearms Act. This piece of garbage legislation is one of the most overreaching and constitutionally unsound pieces of garbage ever written. It doesn't do anything to stop any crimes. It doesn't do anything to stop anything of any ill intent. It is strictly a way to control the working class people and deny rights to the working class people. Back in the 30s, the government intentionally propagandized the whole organized crime thing to frighten the population. Try to make it seem like, you know, they're going to come gunning for you and your family. You're going to get caught in the crossfire, which was totally ridiculous. It was such a small percentage of crime that it was meaningless. But they used that to frighten the masses into allowing them to pass something like the NFA. Now, the NFA was basically just a way to strip firearms that the government thought were threatening out of the hands of the working class. Now, the way they did it was even worse than the way it sounds just saying it like that, because they didn't just say, oh, well, we don't want the working class people or middle class people to have these things, so we're just going to outlaw them. They didn't outlaw them. What they did is they said, well, you know, it's okay to trample on the rights of, you know, Joe Sixpack or Joe Smith, you know, Joe working America, but it's not okay to take rights away from like Joe Rockefeller. So we have to do it in a way that the wealthy ruling class can still have anything they want, but everyone else is disarmed. So what they did is they put a tax stamp on these things, a $200 stamp, which at the time, middle class people couldn't pay at all. There's just no way they could even conceive of that. But wealthy people had no problem with that. So they could still have anything they wanted while still having control over the middle class, that not letting the middle class have equal footing with them. It was another way to just solidify their control. So they poured all the money into it. They poured money into making people think they would get gunned down by Al Capone or whoever at the time. And they used that to strip the middle class of their rights, their gun rights. So it is ridiculous. It needs to go. It doesn't stop any crime. It's a huge waste of freaking money. It is a huge waste of taxpayers' money and taxpayers' time and, you know, time we're paying for from government employees. So it is just a waste all the way around. And basically, like I said, all it was a way for the government to solidify their power by disarming the middle class. So it's got to go. Okay, now we're going to get to the part where I'm going to kind of chastise you. I see so many people thinking that, well, I went over and signed a petition, so I did something today. No, you didn't do anything. If that's all you did nothing. Signing the petition in itself is a nice gesture, but that's all it is a gesture. There's nothing legally binding about it. No one's even got to read it. So it doesn't really mean anything by itself. By all means, go do it, but do it in conjunction with doing something else, because by itself, it means nothing. You know, it doesn't make sense to say, well, I was going to donate $5 to the GOA today, but, you know, I don't have to now because I signed a petition. Well, you just did something that means nothing in lieu of doing something that would actually do some good. So do both. Donate the $5 to the GOA, you know, the $20 a month, whatever, plus go sign the petitions. Support one of your local YouTube channels that you like, plus sign the petition. Go to Patreon and choose some sort of social media gun-related thing that you like, support them, and then sign the petition. Don't just sign the petition. Signing the petitions, like I said, is crying in the dark. No one cares. It does give us something to refer back to. Like when politicians are looking like, wow, I see guns on social media everywhere. Because, you know, every time they see someone standing up for their Second Amendment rights on camera, they assume there's 1,000 people behind them that support them. Maybe even 10, 20,000 people behind them that support them. It's like when they get a letter from someone, they're like, well, if one person cared enough to write, that probably means there's 1,000 people that think the same way. So support guns on social media. Support things like the GOA and even the NRA to a lesser degree, in my opinion. But support those things and sign the petitions. Don't just sign the petitions. Because if you just sign the petitions, you really didn't do anything at all. So do something else along with it and make the meaningful thing you would normally do mean a little more.